For this tutorial, I'm doing a collaboration with Amazon Prime, and I'm going to be making myself look like two of the characters in the TV series Man in the High Castle. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make one side look like Rufus Sewell, and then the other side I'm going to look like Alexis Davalos. I'm going to start off with BB cream. If you want to, you can go ahead and use foundation just to create a base to help the makeup stick on a little bit better later on. I'm going to be blending this in with my fingers, but as usual, if you want to use a brush, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to be using quite a few different shades of concealer. I'm going to be doing the Rufus Sewell side first, and the first thing I'm going to change is the shape of my eyes. I need to exaggerate the creases underneath my eyes and completely change the shape of my nose. I've got a very different nose shape. I need to make it look a lot more angular and a lot less round than mine is. So the first thing I'm going to do is thinnen the nose bridge, and then I'm going to try and accentuate the sides of the nose and blend this out. After that, I'm going to start on the cheekbones. I need to make my cheekbones a lot more prominent, especially bringing it around so that it connects to the side of my nose. And for a lot of this, it's just a case of lining things, blending them out, and then reapplying it where necessary, because sometimes you apply the colour and it's not intense enough, and that's exactly what happened here. But something very important for this look is to try and do a little triangle which is in line with your eyes, right next to the nose, and you're going to blend that out to make it look like there's almost a little dimple just underneath the apples of the cheeks. I'm also going to create some crease lines right next to the brows, and then I'm going to give myself a little bit of a line a little bit further above my brows. And there's got to be more of a curve just above the brows. Blend that out. We're also going to be changing the shape of the brows, but we'll get to that. For the eye, I need to make the crease look like it extends a little bit further from my eye, so I'm going to be taking a highlighter and bringing that colour along. And I'm also going to be creating a completely fake shadow underneath my nose, just to try and accentuate the shape which I'm trying to create, which is something a lot more angular than mine. If you're not sure that you're getting things right, just cover half of your face and then look at a reference picture, and you're going to have to do this quite a lot. There's certain things that you're going to have to pull back, and there's certain features which you're going to have to accentuate more, and there's going to be a lot of this if you're trying to recreate this look. For the eyebrows, I'm going to be using a small angled nail art brush and a mixture of two colours. I'm going to be using a black and a dark brown. With anything like hair, you always want to use a mixture of colours. And then for the lower lid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a highlighter, and you want to squint at the camera and try and get that as close to the lashes as possible. This is going to do two things. It's going to change the shape of your eye, but it's also going to wear out the colour on your lower lashes and cover them up to make them look paler than they actually are. If you're going for a guy look, you normally want to try and do this. And now I'm just going to change this side of my mouth a tiny little bit, as well as the shape of my nostril. Now this is one of the easier ways to cheat changing the shape of your nose, though obviously it's not something you can do every day. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit of stubble. I'm going to be using a powder. I don't really want to use a cream. For something when I'm trying to create stubble or hair, I prefer using a powder. It doesn't budge as much, and it also looks a tiny bit more realistic. To finish off, I'm going to be taking a highlighter, and I'm going to bring that down from the apples of the cheeks around close to the nose and around the edge of that stubble that I've drawn. I'm also going to accentuate the cheekbones. And then I'm going to move on to the Alexis Davalos side. Again, I'm going to have to change the eye shape, but it's not going to be as intense as the Rufus Sewell look, so you don't need to freak out as much. First thing I'm going to do is start right underneath the brows. I'm going to need to do more of a shadow starting from the start of the brows, and that's going to go down towards the nose bridge. I'm going to use a little bit of that eyeshadow on the corner of the eye, bring it around, connecting to the side of the brow, and then I'm going to try and change my nose shape as well. I'm going to be taking a very light brown. It's going to start from the edge of the brows. You're going to bring that down just at the start of the nose, and then you're going to shade that in so that it blends into the rest of the face, and then try and follow any smile lines that you have and bring that down a little bit towards the edge of the mouth. For the lips, I'm going to be using a natural lip liner and a highlighter, and the idea is that we're going to try and go for a bit of a 1960s shape, and you need to extend the shape of the upper lip, make it slightly angular, and then round the bottom lower lip and make sure that they're connected at the edges. On the upper lip, it's going to be more angular with a bit of highlighter on the top, and then on the lower lip it needs to be more rounded. Going back to the eyes, I'm going to take a black eyeliner, start at the inner corner, and we're going to do some very thick, heavy eyeliner and connect that to the lower lashes. You're going to work that right into the hairs to make the eyes appear a tiny bit more almond shaped than they actually are. And then I'm going to blend out anything else that I feel needs shaping on the rest of the face. For the eyeliner, you want to make sure that it's lined very tightly on the inner corner of the eye, but then on the outer corner of the eye, you want that to blend out very smoothly. After that, I'm going to be changing the shape of my brows, and what I need to do is make them look straighter. So for the arch of my brow, that's got to go, it's got to be less defined, and then on the underneath of the brow, where there would normally be a curve, you've got to draw tons of little tiny hairs to make it look like it grows in a different shape. And as usual, you've got to use different colours. Hair is never one colour, it's always a mixture, so if you want it to look realistic, you have to try and mimic this. Last thing I need to do is to change the shape of my lower lid, and the easiest way to do this is to do some black eyeliner right on the waterline and then look straight into the camera, and you want to just narrow your eyes so that you can see where the muscles are going to push the skin up and then line right underneath that. And also get a little bit of a dark brown just on the temples and blend that out, and then I also need to change my cheekbones and make them more defined. But unlike the Rufus Sewell look where we're trying to almost curve the cheekbones round into the side of the nose, that's going to connect down almost to the side of your chin. So blend that out, and then that's it. You're done.